everybody in the room. And that's fascinating to me as the leader of the free world, that he cares what everybody in the room thinks. And something else I've noticed is he's so generous with his time. And sometimes it means we're running late throughout the day. Trump time here at the White House.
Trump time's a real thing.
Trump time is a real thing, but it's because he's so hospitable and generous with his time.
This has been such a remarkable first couple weeks of this administration. Your position, you've done amazingly well at. What do you want people to remember you for as press secretary when you leave?
Oh gosh, it's only been a month. So, that's a question. Ask me in 4 years. But I hope that they'll remember this presidency, and I think they will, this entire administration, as delivering on exactly what President Trump promised he would do. And that makes all of our jobs and our lives so much easier every day, because he is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. But it's just incredible to be part of an administration that, unlike so many presidencies before President Trump, we're actually doing what he promised the people. And as his press secretary, it makes my job a heck of a lot easier. There's no spin, there's no lies, it's all just truth and facts and results. And it's just so exciting to be part of it.
Well, we appreciate all you do, and thank you for being with us.
Thanks, Lara, and congrats on your new show.
Thank you.
It's going to be a hit.
Best of luck to Caroline as she continues to absolutely kill it in the briefing room. From decades-long Democrat to D&I, Tulsi Gabbard shares her unlikely path to the Trump administration next on My View. You ran for president as a Democrat.
Yeah.
Could you ever have pictured that you would right now be sitting as part of Donald Trump's administration?
It's not something that I pictured back then. And quite frankly, it wasn't something that I pictured even a few months ago.
I'm Maya, and these are my breasts. Honestly, we've had a complicated relationship. I've tried sports bras, underwire bras, minimizer bras, and then out of nowhere, I found a lump. Breast cancer. Then losing the breasts I never fully appreciated. During treatment, I asked about Kisqali, a pill that can help reduce my risk of cancer returning. And now I have a new perspective on what really matters.
Kisqali, with an aromatase inhibitor, is for adults with stage 2 and 3, HR-positive, HER2-negative early breast cancer with a high risk of recurrence. Kisqali may cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in serious infections. Life-threatening lung problems and abnormal heartbeats can occur. Your doctor should test your heart and blood before and during treatment. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening cough, chest pain, or dizziness. Before taking Kisqali, tell your doctor all your medical conditions, medicines you take, and if you're breastfeeding, pregnant, or planning to be, as it can harm an unborn baby. Common side effects include nausea, headache, and tiredness.
I'm doing more today to help protect my tomorrow, because I'm more than just breast cancer.
Visit Kisqali.com to learn more. Ask your doctor if Kisqali is right for you.
Machine learning is advancing, but businesses wonder if some machines can keep up.
Let's welcome our new coworker, Jeff.
Copier has a great idea.
Wonder if it's the same idea as yesterday.
Hi, everybody. This is me, Minister Charles Nolen, and we're watching Fox News and Lara Trump's brand new show, pretty much named after her. So I hope that you're enjoying it. And the show is in commercials right now, so it is not, how do I say? It is not being seen because it's in commercials. Anyway, I hope that you're all doing great and you're having a fantastic day. I am having a fantastic day as well. And I look forward to sharing the good news with you. It's always good news. When you accept the Lord God in your life, and it doesn't really matter about all the other stuff because God is the one thing that does matter. And I would rather have God on my side than anybody else in the world. anybody else in the universe. God be in you, and God loves you. Love him back. That's really, really important, folks. It's extremely important that you understand that loving God will go a long way for you and for everybody that matters. You really want God to appreciate that you love him. He already knows he first loved you, and he has put us here for a reason that really God only knows. And there's a lot of us that are scratching our heads going, why am I here? What is going on that I'm here on the planet Earth? Well, you are here for a reason. You are valuable. You are created in the perfectness of God with love. He just wants you to follow his will rather than your own, because his will is far, how do I say, it is perfect and righteous, and it will take you down the path that will bring you to heaven rather than choosing your own path and ending up potentially in hell. Because you know what it is to live like in hell from making stupid mistakes and bad choices. That's just a normal thing for people to do, because God laughs at the plans of man, but he doesn't laugh at the idea when you follow his will and you do what God has told you to do to have salvation. The path to heaven is narrow. The path to hell is wide. So where do you really want to spend eternity, since we are all, good or bad, eternal beings? Anyway, the show is back, and I want you to watch it.
One of the newest members of our country's national security team, Tulsi Gabbard, has carved probably the most unique path to her current role. From presidential candidate to disillusioned Democrat, and now one of our nation's staunchest defenders during President Trump's second term. She's bold and strong and won't let anything stand in her way. But I'll let her tell you herself.
Well, the official director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, it's sort of amazing. If you look back 5 years ago, you ran for president as a Democrat.
Yeah.
Could you ever have pictured that you would right now be sitting as part of Donald Trump's administration?
It's not something that I pictured back then. And quite frankly, it wasn't something that I pictured even a few months ago. It's been an incredible experience for me to just be a small part of helping President Trump get elected, and to now be in a position to help carry out his mandate, to end that weaponization and politicization of our intelligence community, of our law enforcement. It's a privilege.
You are a person who can speak to that to a certain extent. You are also the first female combat veteran to be director of national intelligence. How does your past experience help you in this role, and what are you taking from what you've done in the past and utilizing it now?
Shortly after criticizing Vice President Kamala Harris, who had just become candidate Kamala Harris after President Biden stepped aside, I was very quickly placed on this little-known domestic terror watch list called Quiet Skies. There's a long story I can tell you there about what that entailed, with surveillance and federal air marshals being tasked with an active targeting package. It really speaks to how these institutions that exist to ensure the safety, security, and freedom of the American people being weaponized against the American people actually creates a greater national security risk. When we, the American people, cannot trust those who have the responsibility to keep us safe.
There is a fine line, though, because I think people wonder, how can you ensure the safety of the American people but also protect their privacy and from government intrusion?
It is a heavy responsibility, and it is the most essential one. For too long, as you know, we've seen people in positions of great power tell us that, oh, well, if we just violate your civil liberties and freedom a little bit, it's okay because we're trying to keep you safe. Unfortunately, we've seen this for decades, and the more our freedoms are eroded, the more the foundations of our democracy are eroded. So, a lot of people will talk about national security or security threats, but there's two components of that leaders have to really uphold, which is, yes, there's such a thing as a threat to physical security, but the threat to our freedom and our liberty must be balanced right alongside that threat to our physical security.
Just to go back a moment to your previous life as a Democrat, you had a very famous sort of viral moment in a presidential debate against Kamala Harris, where you kind of called her out.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California, and she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
I think a lot of people look at that moment and they say, is that the moment that Tulsi Gabbard started to maybe change her view on things? Was that part of your political conversion, that moment?
That whole experience of running for president in the Democratic primary in 2020, that really exposed the Democrat Party's focus on things that did not matter to the American people. I go back to 2016 when President Trump was elected, and how very quickly the Democrat Party leadership, the party that I once joined that fought for free speech, that stood up for civil liberties, a party that had many voices who called for peace instead of war, they very quickly flipped the script because now all they cared about was defeating Donald Trump and silencing those who supported him. And so the erosion, the shift in the Democratic Party ultimately made it so that I had to leave the Democrat Party. It was completely unrecognizable from the party that I had joined over 20 years before.
I think a lot of people watched that whole process and they said, these people have learned nothing. They are ranting and raving out there about transparency, about saving taxpayer dollars, about the American people actually understanding what is going on.
I was with President Trump when I was sworn in the Oval Office, and something that he said that day really struck home, because he talked about needing to have people in our government who care. And so when I asked myself, how is it that the Democrat Party still hasn't heard the voices of the American people who are sick and tired of our taxpayer dollars being wasted?
As it turns out, some of those taxpayer dollars are already being saved under Tulsi's tenure. So you were confirmed, and then 6 o'clock the next morning, you're on an airplane, and it's been a rapid pace. Has there been anything that surprised you that you didn't expect so far? I mean, is DOJ involved in what you're doing?
The ODNI itself is a pretty small organization compared to most other elements. But even in that small organization, getting rid of DEI saved American taxpayers roughly $20 million. Wow. Literally with the stroke of President Trump's pen. Just in my organization alone is a great thing, and we're excited to be able to uncover more.
Yeah, we'll take that for sure. Now.
And as you can see, there is a great program there with Lara Trump, and I encourage you to make sure that you get Fox News and you watch Lara Trump. She is excellent at what she does. And Tulsi's an excellent DNI representative in charge of the DNI. And we are all excited about this, and that we hope that, great things are going to come out of this. Now, I got to say to you folks, the Democrats are in upheaval, pulling their hair out of their head. I watched some stuff. Hopefully I'll put it together for you later, or, in an upcoming day. Chuck Schumer is like saying that Trump's trying to save the rich, the richest of the rich in the Republican Party that are controlling the Republicans, and Donald Trump and Doge and Elon Musk are not trying to save the middle class Americans money. It's a hogwash or a bunch of BS. That's not what's happening. What the Democrats want you to believe is that it is happening, because a lot of the stuff that they caused and they did over many years, over the last 40 years, is going to be uncovered, and it's going to be told to you people. I mean, there's full disclosure on the Doge website. Just check it out. You can go to Google, search for Doge, and go to the Doge site, and you could read all the things that are, will bring you up to date on what's actually going on. But there's going to be a dividend check, and it's going to come to like 20% of whatever the return is. 60% is probably going to go back into helping us cut down our overall debt, national debt. I mean, $36 trillion and growing fast. We want to cut that back, and this is what's happening. Again, Chuck Schumer wants to tell you that the Democrat leader, he wants to tell you that Medicaid and all these other programs for the people that need it the most is going to get cut. Well, it's not true. Again, he's deceiving you. If he thinks the most important people are the illegal people that have come in illegally to America, the illegal migrants, I'm going to say it, okay, then, and if they get cut off the Social Security and Medicaid and all those kinds of benefits, of course it's going to save money, but they're not supposed to be on that program in the first place. Do you know that FEMA actually put money aside for illegal immigrants, and that you people, some of you people, even me, has been affected directly by the money that should have gone to us, tax-paying Americans, from FEMA, actually went towards illegal immigrants. We got a drug problem that's trying to come to an end now, thanks to Donald Trump. We've got borders that are more, sovereign than they've ever been, and they will be better. The things that Chuck Schumer and the Democratic Party want you to pay attention to is he wants to try and say that Trump is trying to distract everybody by trying to take on Canada and make it a 51st state, by the stuff he's doing in Mexico, the things he's doing in Ukraine with Russia. He's trying to, according to Chuck Schumer, make cuts in taxes for the wealthiest Republicans, who he accuses of actually controlling the Republican Party. I don't believe this for a second, folks. I think Chuck Schumer is fallen off the rocking chair, and him and Mitch McConnell and all the people there, because there are certain Republicans that aren't sitting firmly on the rocking chair to join the party in coming to the resolutions that we need to save America. There's a lot of people, in both parties that, they need to go. They need to be retired. It's just too much to have them on the government, Congress, or senators, that if they're going to represent the Democratic Party and their beliefs, or trying to protect the money that's been going to the wealthiest people that have nothing to do with what Chuck Schumer's saying, because that's been going on forever. And the Democrats, for the most part, have been the ones receiving the kickbacks, which has been ridiculous and unfair to all of us. Elon Musk and Donald Trump have been trying to save middle-class America. And that's what I hear. That's what I see. That's what I see every single day when I watch the news, and I look through the news on Google. I look through the news on YouTube. I look through the news on various sources all over the internet. I listen to the television news. I try and discern, with God's help, what is really going on, and I try to share that with you. I'm always welcome for you guys to subscribe, click on notifications, send me a comment, or email me if you'd like to. I mean, I've always wanted you to be able to do that and feel comfortable doing it. This is Rolling with Nolen. You are on the road to recovery. All of us are. Okay, it's not just something I made up for me. It's we need to be in recovery, like from a hostile takeover. And that's what the Democrats did to our countries. They took it over. They dismantled it. They used us, all Americans. Like, God, can you imagine what you would do if you had access to $5.7 trillion every single year? And that money should be going, part of that money for sure, should be going to pay the national debt and also coming back into your pocket. And that's what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are trying to do, not what Chuck Schumer and the false narrative that they want you to believe. And they want the mass media, for the most part, to convince you through hypnosis by repeating it over and over and over again, like Whoopi Goldberg. She needs to be fired and retired. And so does David Muir from ABC World News Tonight. I am so offended by those liars and pathetic. They'll say anything that they're told to say and do it professionally to the best of their ability. But Whoopi Goldberg doesn't even have that. She has stupidity all over her face, like egg in your face. Just bad stuff. And the Democrats overall are deceiving us, and they have been doing it for years. And Donald Trump has been in the presidential office for a very short period of time, and a lot of dirt and dust has been stirred up. But it will smooth itself out in the first 6 months to a year. You will see a difference, and you will notice what direction we're actually going in. And then by the second year, you will see implementation that's already being implemented, but it will eventually come back to you as quickly as possible. But let's face it, folks. The Democrats have been destroying our ability to get some money, to be able to have some money, to be able to keep our money. They have been destroying it for years. And the Republicans want to shrink the size of federal government and turn it back over to the states to the best of their ability. So the states can decide what direction they want to go in and, work with the federal government if they need money and help and resources to get things done. That's what the Republicans honestly want to do. Don't believe Chuck Schumer, Whoopi Goldberg, David Muir, and all these other crazy people. I mean, Maxine, what in God's name is that woman talking about? She actually, tried to entice riot. If you see a Democrat, if you see a Republican, she says, she's a Democrat, and she says, if you see a Republican out in public, really give them a piece of your mind, or like almost enticing you to want to hit one, a Republican. And I mean, I understand it's not the way it should be. They're telling us, Republicans, that we're the ones out of control, but everything that they did in the Democratic Party, the bureaucracy of the Democratic Party, has been to cause fires, fights, store destruction, everything else, and try and blame it all on the Republicans. That's their stupidity. And they think we're clueless. They think that the general public is clueless as to what's going on, when in fact we're not. And we know what's going on, and we want to support the Republican Party. Do not listen to the Democrats because they don't know what they're talking about, and they want to deceive you some more so they can get the power back. That's what they want. That's what they want. And then there are people that are Democrats that are out there that don't have this knowledge. They don't have this deep down understanding of what's actually going on. And they think, well, I'm a Democrat, I'm going to support the Democrats. Well, guess what? They can be wrong. We can learn to disagree with those people that agree that the Democrats are right. It's all right. It's a fair thing to do. They're entitled to their opinion, so they've got to be able to make it because, like Elon Musk and President Trump say, freedom of speech. You're entitled to it. All of us, tax-paying Americans, are entitled to freedom of speech. Everybody's entitled to freedom of speech, for God's sakes. It should have never been choked off from us like it has been by the government in the past because of the control of the oligarchs that, Bernie Sanders say that the Republicans have. No, it's been the Democrats that have been deceiving us and trying to destroy us and make us subjected to them, to be submissive to the Democratic Party. Let's give Donald Trump a roaring applause and help him in any way, shape, or form that we can. This is what's really needed. Look, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, watch Lara Trump on Fox News. There's a lot of great shows over the weekend you can watch on Fox News. I also like Gary Francie of the Next News Network. You can watch him. He's funny. He's intelligent. He points you in a lot of good directions. I admire him for his strength of character and his ability to utilize knowledge in television. And the same thing with Fox News. I mean, they're incredible over there in what they do. And I'm trying to be better every day. Every time I come on, I hope that I'm offering you something that is good and more blessed. As I always do, I like to end the program with an Our Father. For those of you who want to feel the rise of God that is actually inside of you right now. God lives in you. No matter who you are, no matter what you think you are, even if you don't recognize him being in you, God is in you. So here it is. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. I love you, my brothers and sisters. I look forward to talking to you and doing another episode in the not too distant future. And I hope you have a great day.